Hi guys, it's Mina here, Mina, welcome back to my channel. So not gonna have a long intro today because it's a short video. I just wanted to I guess this is a friendly reminder for any women that are considering traveling to South Korea. It's an amazing country, you should go, but I just want to give some safety tips. So if you follow K-pop or Korean news, you know that recently there's been a lot of scandals with K-pop stars basically admitting to raping women or helping people rape women or drugging women or anything like that. And it's like, I guess it's been really shocking for a lot of people. They're like, oh my god, like Korea, and yeah, Korea does have lower crime rates when you compare it to other developed countries and everything, but I do feel like crimes towards women, you know, going from the low level, like being groped or harassed, all the way to like being raped, these things do happen, probably on the same level as in many other countries. So I just wanted to make this video, I guess, a few little quick tips for people that are considering traveling to South Korea and you're a woman or identify as a woman. And the other thing, someone actually requested this video. I'm really sorry, can't remember your name, but a big shout out to you. Like, thank you for the idea to make this video. It's a really important video, and especially in the light of all this is why I decided I need to make it now. So yeah, thank you, shout out to you. I'm so sorry I can't remember your name. Because in Korea you can literally leave your phone on the table in a coffee shop, go to the bathroom and come back and it's still there. It's great. Doesn't mean that you should walk out in a dark alleyway in like, you know, a drinking area, or like, you just have to still be safe the same way you would if you were in America or in the UK or wherever you're from, because you know, women are being treated like a commodity worldwide. It happens, I'm sorry, it happens, okay? So just remember that Korea is not exempt from those rules, unfortunately. So I think I want to tell you guys 3 main examples that are important, which is safety when you're going out clubbing, which we all love to do, safety tips when you're going online dating, Tinder, Meet, Bumble, all of that. And then the third one is definitely going to have to be just in public spaces, unfortunately. So yeah. Clubbing is a big one because unfortunately I hear the most, you know, in terms of expat women, and for me and my experiences, it can be really unsafe sometimes, the same way it is when you go out clubbing in other countries, in the UK and London. So the first thing is, when it comes to drinking, do not take a drink from a stranger. We hear this all the time, but when it comes to us, we forget. Don't take a drink from a stranger, literally, unless you're at the bar together and you see the bartender doing it, like, then it's cool. But if someone comes up to you with a drink, like, here, drink. Guys, drugging happens in Korea, it happens. So be safe in that way. Oh my god, please go out with a friend, like at least one friend, please. Like, I know I am very for solo stuff and I will do solo nights out, you know, join a group or whatever, but generally speaking, try to have a friend that's going to look out for you, like a real friend you trust when you go out clubbing. It's just safer. I'm sorry, it's just safer. I can tell you guys an example which is really unfortunate. So I went clubbing with my friend and my boyfriend. It was a really fun night, we were having fun, and then there was this one girl, she was quite small, she's a foreigner, she was blonde, and she just was wasted. She was dancing on the bar and I was like, girl, that girl's a lit, she's having a good time. But I was kind of like, where's her friends at? Like, your girl is, guys, it was bad because she was dancing, there's a big crowd of Korean guys like, woo, woo, and I was like, ain't that kind of club, what's happening here? I was a bit like, okay, this is fun, but like, she needs her friends to look out for her and be like, girl, you're drunk, get off the bar, stop stripping, you know? But it wasn't happening. I was like, that's a bit weird. So anyway, just having fun, blah blah blah, dancing. It's so fun, like, I love clubbing in Korea. And then later on, I suddenly just look over to the door and I see this girl, the same drunk girl, being literally dragged up the stairs by this guy, like on the way to leave the club. And I was thinking, this girl is just getting dragged, like, let me just go and see if she's okay. Like, it doesn't hurt me, it takes me 2 seconds just to pop out. So I followed her, I was fast, I ran after them, went up. My friends were just like, where's she going? So they followed me, like good friends should do. When they saw me leave the club, they followed me, okay? This girl left the club, no one followed her, and she's being dragged. So I followed her. I went out and I was like, hey, are you okay? Like, is this guy your friend, or like, what's going on? And he's just like, kind of like this, holding her hand, and the girl's just like, guys, she was comatose, she was like falling around, the guy's like kind of holding her, and I was like, are you okay? The girl cannot speak, she's falling all over the place, thrown she was throwing up later as well. Like, it was bad. And this guy was just like, oh yeah, I'm just taking her home, I'm just taking care of her, blah blah blah. And I was just like, do you know this guy? What's your name? To the girl, what's your name? Show me her name. Obviously I'm not going to say it. Let's say Kate. She said Kate. Was like, oh yeah, my name's Kate. It took a long time to even get her name out of her. And then I was like, do you know this guy? And I just knew she didn't know him, the way the whole situation was playing out. He was like, oh, I was just taking care of her, I was taking her home. And I was like, oh, okay, where does she live? He doesn't know, and stuff like that. Like, my friends came as well, and my boyfriend, and we were like kind of sitting with her. And then after that I sat with her and I was like, okay, I'm going to, she's fucking, like, she's gone. She's must either drank too much. She was very slim, so I know people can easily drink too much when they're slimmer, or she's been drugged. So this guy's all over and stuff. It just freaked me out. So we sat down on the floor with her. She was throwing up at this point. It was quite gross. And like, her phone, she had her phone in her hand, but she couldn't really use it. I literally took her thumb, unlocked her phone, and like, I could have stolen her phone. Let's put it that way. That's how drunk she was. And you know, people guard their phone, you know, and that's how drunk she was. So she had her phone, everything. I unlocked it and I was looking for numbers. I was like, Mom. I called her mum, by the way. I called her mum in Canada, maybe? And her mum is like, I don't know where she lives. Her mum doesn't know where she lives. Can we talk about that? Let's not even talk about that. Her mum is like, oh my god, is she okay? Da, da, da. Like, I was like, no, she's really not okay, and she needs to get home or something. I don't know where she lives. I don't know her. And yeah, mum was no help. So I was kind of looking for a phone, go to Kakao Talk, because it's Korea. That's the messenger everyone's going to use. Went to Kakao. I eventually managed to find her friends and I messaged them. They weren't replying because they're clubbing. But it took a while. Eventually, like, about an hour later, her friends came out and they were like, oh my god, Kate, are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I was mad at them. I was like, what? How can you let this girl leave? There was a group of them as well. It was like 3 of them. I was like, you 3 girls are waste men because you just left your friend like fully. If we hadn't interceded, she would have been dragged home by this guy. The guy was hanging around the whole time. The whole hour or so it took for her friends to come out. Other men would come over. At least 2 other men would come over like, oh, let me take her home in a taxi. Da, da, da. And guys, I was not even that sober. So at some points I was like, oh, maybe we should let them take her home. And then my friend was like, no. And I was like, oh yeah, duh. Like, they didn't know her. They were acting like they knew her and stuff like that. It was hard to decipher all these guys preying on her. It was horrible. Oh guys, I need to mention an important part of this story. I actually called the paramedics. I called 119, which is the Korean emergency number. And I called them. I was like, this girl's drunk. Like, you guys need to pump her stomach, take her to the hospital, give her IV, something. We can't find her. We don't know her address. We can't help her out. You guys need to do something. They were literally like, they came over, they looked at her, they were like, we can't do anything. Paramedics gone. I was just like, is this real life? In the UK, paramedics will take you to the hospital, pump your stomach. If you're in that bad of a state, they'll do something. They'll put you in their van, give you, you know what I mean? They did nothing. The paramedics did nothing. They were like, she's your problem. I don't know the girl. Anyway, this was such a stressful evening. You know, at this point, it was not a fun night anymore, but I was just happy to have helped her, because imagine that we hadn't chased after her. I really don't, like, it really scares me to think what would have happened to her. So yeah, guys, I went really off topic there, but this is a real story. This happened to me. I've heard of other people's stories, similar things. So really be aware. Take friends you trust. Don't take drinks from randomers. Okay, that's clubbing in Korea. Okay, if you're doing online dating, we all like, you know, go meet your little guys on Tinder or Bumble, or in Korea, Hello Talk. So I get that, but don't just do the same thing you would do with online dating. Text your friend where you're meeting them. Go to a public space. Don't go to their house. Don't invite them to your house. And a special Korea example: if you live like close to a subway station, and let's say you're the only foreigner or the only black girl in your neighborhood, don't tell them your subway station, because if they know where your subway station is and you're there all the time, all they have to do is wait around one day. They can find you and they could follow you. Like, that does sound dramatic, but for real, if, like, I used to live in the subway station, I never saw a single other black person in my time living there. And I know that if I told, I wasn't on Tinder then, but if I told a Tinder person where I lived, they could easily have found me just from that little area. So just don't tell someone your actual subway station. You could be like, I live in the, you know, the general neighborhood, but you don't have to say exactly where the subway station is. Just, that's my piece of advice. Yeah, so that's when it comes to online dating. Same things, public space. Wait until you really trust them to go into a smaller place, because, you know, it's the same thing as anywhere else. Assault can happen, can and will happen. But remember that example I told you about the station. Okay, the last thing, I'm going to talk a little bit generally about public spaces. You do kind of have to be a bit aware of yourself, because people do things like, people get grabbed, groped, people get men showing their, like, you know, what do they call those people that, flashers. Yes, people see flashers. I've had friends, many friends actually, who've seen guys, like, you know, masturbating in public to them, stuff like that. And it's important, like, if something like that happens to you, it is going to be taken seriously. It is a real crime. So, okay, I've had my butt grabbed before in Korea, and I just got really angry and shouted at the guy, and no one around was even reacting. It was bad. I've heard that a lot, people not reacting. So don't be afraid to defend yourself, but don't, you know, don't hurt them, because then they could try sue you for hurting them. That's a big thing. So be careful, but feel free to take a picture of their face, go to the police station, the nearest police station, and report them. They'll have CCTV evidence. Korea has a lot of CCTV, and it's something that can and will, I'm hearing, be taken seriously more often, because it is sexual assault. So definitely consider that, taking care of yourself in that way. And also the whole thing with the cameras, the hidden camera scandal that was last year in Korea, you know, public toilets. When you get into a public toilet, just make sure you look around, look for any little holes or covered over holes or things like that in the cubicle. I can't say I was too, like, I wasn't that careful when it came to public toilets, but just do think about that. And changing rooms as well. There are a lot of spy cams, as they call them. There are some apps as well that I know you can use to scan for cameras if you are concerned about that in a big way. But generally speaking, I do feel like they're cracking down. I think they're cracking down a bit more. But just be aware that spy cams can exist in public bathrooms, changing rooms, anywhere you might have to remove clothing, basically. Okay, so guys, I think that's it. I just wanted to make this short video, a bit of a PSA. And if this was helpful for you or for any women that you know that go to Korea, live in Korea, feel free to share the video and let me know what you think as well. I'm not trying to say Korea is unsafe. What I'm trying to say is Korea is safe, but as a woman, we always have to take extra precautions. It just really pisses me off, I'm going to be honest. But I just wanted to share it anyway, because it's nothing to be scared of. Like, someone was telling me they were scared to go because of the spy cams. Like, don't be scared. It's not that bad once you're there, trust me. It's always worse when you hear about the news, you know, from abroad. It's not that bad. It's like the North Korea, South Korea thing. People are like, oh, we're gonna get bombed. I was there for 2 years. There was never a hint, a sniff of anything happening. So don't worry. Chances are it's not gonna happen to you. But do you know why things aren't gonna happen to you? Because you've seen this video, you know the tips. You're gonna be safe, prepared, extra. I try to be extra. I'm like, better safe than sorry. Maybe I get off this train because I feel uncomfortable with a guy staring at me. I get the next one. I'm 10 minutes late. Who gives a shit? I'm safe. That's how I look at things. So that's why I wanted to make this video. And yeah, I hope this was helpful for you guys. And shout out to the girl who recommended the video. I'm sorry. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you in my next video, which is going to be back to travel-based content. I'm going to get back to normal. So yeah, see ya. Bye.